Okay, so we're going to be doing self-portraits, so you're going to need to have a mirror, and you're also going to choose an object that you would like to work with, that you could either hold in front of you or put on your head. You could use a hat or a pair of glasses or something along those lines. I've chosen this mirror. It's kind of an interesting Art Nouveau sort of mirror, and so it has a lot of detail on the back, but I'm going to actually use it as a reflective mirror and look into it while I'm looking into another mirror. So I'm going to first start by sort of playing with it and figuring out how I want to have it work. And then I'm going to do some thumbnails that I will start to make a decision about my composition. Here's a quick picture that I took with my phone to show you the composition that I've decided to work with. Remember, though, you should be working from observation, looking in your mirror, and observing yourself in person. So I've created my thumbnails, and just to sort of walk you through what I've done is I've created one where my face is kind of in the center and I'm looking out at the viewer, and then I have a mirror kind of cropped over to the side with my profile in it. And then I did a vertical one where I've got kind of equal amounts of my face and the mirror, just a little bit more of my face in this one. And this one is the one I'm going to do. It's got my face in one side and the mirror in a little bit of it, and I kind of like this big negative space behind it, so I am including that one so it's not such a tight composition. So I'm just going to make my cross hairs across the front of the thumbnail. And then in order to move on to your big paper, you're going to be using the 9x11 paper that I've given you, the drawing paper. And I'm first just going to take my block and trace it onto the paper. I want to trace it so that I have a border around it, so that when I'm tracing it later to transfer it to my block, I can tape onto the paper edge. So I'll just put that to the side, and then as I start to do my drawing, I'm just going to go ahead and put my crosshairs lightly in this. Move that out of the way, and then begin to gesture in my composition using my thumbnails, and then also referring to the mirror as I need to. Just kind of mapping it in. I'm going to be looking in the mirror much more when I'm doing more of the finished work. But right now I'm just sort of gesturing it in, getting things more or less in place, and kind of making notations about where they fall on the thumbnail. Okay, so I've completed my drawing, and I've used as many different values as I could. I tried to make them as accurate as I could make them, and tried to sort of really kind of work a little bit in the way that I would like for the cutting to go. So I'm using marks that go with the form in what we call cross contour. And so on the face, in this area, the lines are sort of going with the form, and then down here they're sort of bending with the way the cheek goes. And then along the shoulder, you can see that they're kind of coming across and sort of bending down onto the form. And I'm leaving lighter areas where I want there to be light value, and then getting darker where I want it to be darker. This is important because when we move on to cutting on the linoleum block, you're going to need to be able to see where you want the light areas to be and where you want to keep things dark. So here's my finished drawing, and the next step will be for me to trace it and transfer it to my block.